Yeah. So, after all that fun, here we go. So I'll call this meeting to order. This public meeting is being recorded in accordance with Montana law. All those in attendance are advised that the public portion of this meeting will be recorded in audio video format. By remaining in the meeting, those present consent to being recorded and displayed footage that will be posted on the school district's website. Please contact the district office if you have any questions concerning the school district obligations under Montana's open meeting law. Any public comment? Nope. Perfect. All right. That's all you.
Okay,
Go for it.
so, superintendent's report, there'll be a few things, in addition to what I have in here, but the report focuses on the staffing levels. And so you can see over the few pages of that, both the certified staff, support staff, activities, and athletics are all in there. These are put at our maximum levels, so not all of those positions are filled. And there are some nuances to the report. There are some staff that may be split between buildings, but it was simpler and a little bit more cohesive to just know that and place a one under one building or another, so that there wasn't confusion about how much FTE was in each, who was the split body and all of those sorts of things. So this gets, these are all board approved positions. And then in addition to that, and I'll go over this in the actual board meeting, we have quite a process. There are really, I mean, depending on how you slice this up, roughly 10 to 11 steps in the approval process for us to be double checking. So there are lots of checks and balances to that process. And yeah, so staffing report, also participated recently in the school funding interim commission work. That was an interesting process. They are doing quite a bit of vision building, which is frustrating for many because they really want to talk about money. And the commission is really trying to build, like, what do we want? And then how do we want funding to be tied to the things that we want? The administration completed some training. We took the board training and applied that to admin, so we've done some of that. And then also we are implementing the Rooms platform for communication. I'll have some more report back to the board at the next meeting, but seems to be trending in the right direction. We have a ways to go and some troubleshooting to do, but I know the admin team and Kelly have been working on resolving that along with Stephanie Lund. And spent some time with Kiwanis yesterday. It was positive. The only real question that was hard to answer was, why did we discover the bat so close to the start of the school year? I said, but very positive meeting, and it was fun to chat about education and all the good things that are going on in our district. So that's the gist. That's the report.
Fantastic. So, cool. So the only other thing is the meeting agenda, which is lots of stuff. And a lot of it looks like the privacy agreements and stuff like that. So
I'm happy to speak to that if you need.
Yeah, if you why don't you give a little bit of a.
Yeah, so, right, so as we all know, the COVID remote learning situation created quite a few curveballs, and one of that was it put such a heavy emphasis on online resources. And the legislature decided to push forward that House Bill 745 and required this Montana student digital privacy agreement for all of our online vendors if the kiddos' information was going up onto their servers and was going to live on their computers in the cloud. So the reality was that we had a very short window where we were just deploying all kinds of student digital privacy agreements. And so the knock-on effect of that is they all expired at essentially the same time. So we had a June 25th or 2025 expiry date for darn near all of the ones that we had, with the exception of some other ones we added on later on. But that's what you're seeing on the board agenda is, I haven't even looked at the totals, Kathy, and I've been kind of joking about how that number keeps climbing over the weeks. But this is the situation there. They're all pretty consistently carbon copies of each other, with simply the vendor name is different, the expiry date is pretty much the same, and then of course the signatures on the back end. So this is just more or less a rinse and repeat. There are, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 4 of them in there that are slightly different language from the others, but to a greater or lesser degree, these are just agreements that all ended up expiring within the same window of time, just the way we were deploying them based on the state recommendation, and they're all up for renewal. I still have at least 4 or 5 that Christine and I are still working on that are ones that we originated. But the vast majority of the ones that you're seeing on there are ones where we're a subscribing member, as they call, that we are just basically tagging ourselves onto Exhibit A for a digital privacy agreement that another district already generated. And we have probably 10 that we generated for the state of Montana. I can go into more detail about it, but they just all came up sort of expiring at the same time. So here we are.
No, thanks for that. Yeah, this is the first time I think I've seen the other side of it, where you see who's the named, we're just attached to it.
Yeah.
That was my question, but you guys.
Yeah, we're originators for a percentage of them, and to be honest, we haven't looked at what that percentage is, but we're originators. And so in that case, you're signing on the page 13 along with Kathy there, Patrick, and then but again, another balance, those probably the more significant ones were just us jumping on somebody else's DPA, so that's the page 15 part.
Do any of these have any sort of fees associated with them, or is it just privacy agreements?
These are completely 100% privacy agreements to acknowledge the law. There's zero cost on this one. It's really just a document that we need to keep filed away for unlikely event that there's a breach and we have to get some sort of remediation going on between us and the organization. That's really what this is a formalization of sort of the same thing we do with incident response that we have for digital things that I've initiated here. This is just a more formal thing for the student data.
Okay.
For the board packet, I just took a copy of one and just put on there like sample or something, or example, because it would be.
I mean, no, I quite literally would be like, yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
This is a 2-inch stack.
Makes sense.
That's a fun.
We do it a lot, so. Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, this is all just insurance for server data.
Sounds cool. So going through it, I guess we'll just cruise on the new business, old business first. How's the audit? Is it done?
I have been talking with Ross. I think there was some issue where one had the health issues, and then two, some of Nicole's numbers and his numbers, but I think we got that all squared away. I've been talking to him this week, and then I called to see about, so to give you guys hopefully it's done. And I couldn't get a hold of him this morning, but I emailed him, and so I'm thinking we should be done by Tuesday.
Fantastic. So, cool. All right. Anything else as we're cruising down? Some of these are, the Yells contract and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So anything that jumps out to you that you want more explanation for, but most of these are pretty standard. I think good news for the high school folks is getting some preliminary work done to get the retractable wall implemented and in place so that they have that flexible classroom. And then you also, on item number 7, you have a lengthy explanation of our final agreement with the teachers union. So just want to button that up and finalize that process. Perfect.
Sounds good.
I think everything else is pretty well covered.
How much are the pillars?
I don't know, Jamie's got some info.
Yeah, it's in the it'll be in your packet. It's roughly $17K to get all the pillars put.
Because we did buy the curtain itself with ESSER money.
Okay, perfect. So this
Yeah, I just sitting in the garage.
just waiting.
Yeah.
And there's installation is included in the quote for the retractable. This is work that's outside of the scope of, this is all preparation work. So the infrastructure wasn't essentially set up for this to go in. So we needed to do this preliminary work
Are they
first.
going to do those like over the break?
We told them they can do whenever. I'll do those classes right now.
I don't even want to get them in.
We'll
make it work.
It was a technically while you're in school, to get that done, and I think Jamie, it's probably been 3 weeks now. Since- Yeah,
Gotcha.
He's out there, and he's every Monday checking with them where we're at in the process, so.
So. Just out of curiosity, are the partitions, like, are they insulated then? So.
Yeah, so it's the real deal, it's a $32,000 wall.
Yeah.
So it'll be opening and closing it at least twice a day,
Gotcha.
for the way our current schedule is this year.
And it's like kind of like those ones they use, like, I know like music rooms use those things where they have basically, you can't hear through those.
Yeah. Yeah,
And where's
it
it
seals top to bottom.
Where's it going?
It goes in, well, it used to be 2 classrooms, we took the wall out, for humanities and for college prep. And, I need the classroom out of the classroom, so this has changed the cart the last 2 years.
So there was a temporary one that went up, but then after the permanent one got taken down, and then that one got taken down, and
So the
this is
temp-
the third.
Yeah, the temporary one they put in did not seal top and bottom, and it's actually being used over daily now in your old library It's got gaps above it and below it, so it was not soundproof at all. And so,
Yeah, thank you. That's been good for us.
yeah, you're welcome.
We love the repurpose.
Perfect. Let's see, anything else? Indianapolis in November, that should be fun.
Yeah, last year Ryan got to go to Hope Park, Florida for
I was gonna
the
say.
conference. I'm going to
I offered
Indianapolis.
to go for him. Or let's die and get to the Indy 500, we see him.
They got a good Hard Rock Cafe too.
Do they? Yeah, so I will be going in his place while he's having a baby.
So, I was gonna say, he's having a really good.
It's a brave new world.
And that's all fully funded through the grant, for the University of Montana.
Yeah, I remember we did that last year, so, cool. Yeah, otherwise, anything else that sticks out to you?
The financial management piece, the first reading of 7320 is just an increase to the threshold before it gets to board approval.
Okay.
A fairly significant, sizable increase to 50,000. So that may be up for discussion or debate altogether as to whether or not that's appropriate. But I'll leave that to the board to decide that.
Well, I think that we had a higher amount there before, and then when everything got changed, it went down to the 10,000.
I think, otherwise we get, not to be, but 10,000, as some of you know, buy everything under 10,000, because, no.
Yeah.
So 50,000 is close to me, so. What do you think, you have, you good?
I have no problem with
So, cool. Otherwise, anything else, note that we need to know about, so I think it's all down here. So, all's well, school is running.
Count day.
County, yep, so working through that and making sure our student count and our teacher count is on track. We'll certify that soon.
Fantastic. So, cool, all right, well, grab some lunch and that's all we got, all right, easy.
Thank you.
Um,
Oh, yeah.